Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger.
Yeah, so he got lost in space.
Oh
And he
shit.
just stayed
He's
there.
still alive now, guys, in space, just watching.
He's still alive, yeah.
How do they know that?
What do you mean? They lost the cosmonaut.
They saw him with the telescope.
What?
They
He has
lost
enough
him.
food to survive up there forever?
He wasn't alone there, with others.
Are they going to send somebody
Soviet
to try to
cosmonaut
get him?
Vladimir, yes. Thank you,
Danny
Danny.
looked up into space with the telescope and she said, "Hello, hello, Russian cosmonauts. Hello. We love you from Earth."
This is the other guy. I'm gonna find the one that you're talking about after this, but this is the other guy.
No, I'm talking about the guy that just did a moonwalk and cosmonaut.
Okay, Russian guy
cosmonaut.
stuck in space or dead in
He's
space.
still with his
or
suit and
something.
everything, with his cosmonaut.
Moonwalk stuck in. Sure, but they're trying to say this Sir. Is this the same name?
I don't know. Elon Musk sent the car to space, to low orbit. I think it's the same name, no?
It's very
I know.
similar, but it's, I think, Sergey. How do you say that?
Where I don't see it. Sergey, yes, Sergey Krikalev. No, it's a different one. Stranded in space during the collapse of the Soviet. No, it's not the same. It's not the same story. That guy was like stuck when Soviet Union fell. It's not the same story. No, I'm talking for someone from the 70s. Okay, when they had the space race.
Vladimir Komarov.
Yeah, I think that's the one. He stuck they just left the body over there. They couldn't pick him.
לא, יש תמונה של הגופה שלו, מה שנשאר ממנה.
שהוא בתוך החליפה של האסטרונאוט.
לא, ולדימיר קומרוב הזה, שים את השם שלו ואתה תראה את התמונה.
לא, אז רגע, אני אמצא לכם את השם שלו עוד.
זה מה שהיא סיפרה, דני, על ההוא שלא רצה לצאת למשימה, כי ידע שהיא מסוכנת.
I agree with Hannah.
אתם יודעים שמקליטים אותנו, נכון?
What do you say about me? What's going on? That I need help?
למטה.
איך אתה יודע?
כי זה מה שהוא עושה.
מי זה?
סאבסקרייב.
מה יצא להקליט
That's
אותה?
Edmund. Hey, are you gonna come talk to us?
Or just record us.
Taking plastic balls and turning them into diamonds, and I think that might actually be something of value. We'll just consider them building blocks, and we can rebuild Gaza with diamonds. Don't you think that would be beautiful?
Okay.
Oh, boy.
That's fine. So in other words, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Eitan, you go ahead.
ladies first, and I'm not completely formulated my question yet anyway. By the way, is that offensive to say ladies first anymore?
No, I'm not offended by it.
No, of course not. Absolutely not. You can still be a man in America.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Unless you live in Maine and you haven't gotten that off the books that men could play in women's sports.
You haven't been totally castrated at the word.
Oh boy. So, right. So, Sean, again. So, say, Sean, right? Do you live in the States?
Currently, yes, I do.
Currently. Okay, same here. So, for instance, if for some reason Canada attacked the United States, right? What, obviously the United States would give them a pounding and so on, but we would create a ultimately, we would create a much larger buffer zone, even though, Canada runs the length of the United States, right? A very large buffer zone. But this is not what's happening on the border with Gaza. The buffer zone is, yay small. And that's troubling.
Well, the zone with Gaza extends for a few kilometers, but if I remember, Gaza is only between 7 and 25 kilometers wide.
Yep.
Yes, and yet they're capable of wreaking so much havoc.
Well, what if we just made it a great palace? A wonderful place to live, the most prized place to live on the planet.
It could have been, but it could have been. That was the idea, right? This is why Israelis left, basically unwillingly, when it was called Gush Katif. That was the idea, right? And that didn't really work out, because that was Israel's idea, but that wasn't Hamas terror organization's idea.
Well, what is their idea? We know what
their idea was. It was yet another launching pad to destroy Israel. That was their idea.
They're not going to move out though. I mean, all this talk about making it a Riviera, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to want to leave.
I know.
No one's going to want to leave.
I wouldn't say no one.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that I think it was a tactic of Trump's to put pressure on Hamas, to release the hostages.
Yeah, it's a Trump card or whatever they call it. No pun intended there.
Guys, more importantly than Gaza, more importantly in my mind anyway, where I struggle is with mana. I'm not sure where mana comes from. I'm sure that it's some kind of grace from God, but I still don't understand the whole idea of mana.
Mana?
Mana from heaven, right?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. הוא נראה לי מתפזר.
No, stray away from the politics. But when I was a kid, I was told that when they, when they were in Sinai or the deserts and they were walking and they could just imagine what taste of the food they can have. It could be manna from heaven. We actually have a song about manna from heaven.
So is this like Willy Wonka or the Jetsons kind of food? I don't know.
I remember that from the Jetsons. They used to order these little pills, right? If I want steak and fries or something like that, they would get that pill.
Linda, do you follow the news here? That tomorrow,
Yep.
Well,
supposed to release.
Yep. Yep. I
don't know what's gonna excuse me. I don't know what's gonna happen with Sherry Bibas. I'm very worried.
So in the last 2-3 minutes, it's been all over the internet that they found her and they're gonna release her. So I don't know what to believe. Not sure. not sure. אבל אני מסכימה לך שהוא סתם מרבה לנו את המוח.
Who? Who is
חבר שלך.
Trump? No,
איתן!
I have a
He's
speaker.
tired.
No. I just thought that maybe we talk about something else other than politics because it just seems that some people want to move on to something more pleasant. But whatever. We can do that.
I don't think that Smiat Israel is speaking about politics per se. Eitan.
To what?
I don't think speaking about Israel is speaking about politics per se.
No, we're talking about Gaza and this and that.
Yeah. Well, but that's the title, Great Israel.
All right, no problem.
That's what I was.
Let's talk about building huge cinder blocks out of plastic.
You see what I mean?
אז תאמין לי, איתן, אין לי סלון בשבילו היום. אז אני זזתי.
Oh, don't
Oh
know.
yeah, well it's gonna
Wow.
either yes or no, because you know why? Because here
Why?
Shabbat starts in an hour and a half. That's pretty much all I got. And
Okay.
so
So you want to?
Let's switch to Hebrew.
כן, הוא צודק, איתן.
Well, since when am I right? What's that all about?
מה עם המיליון? שבת שלום.
We got a lot of people in the room.
שבת שלום.
We should
Hi.
talk about something.
Shabbat shalom.
שבת שלום. מה קורה, יגאל?
שלום. הכל בסדר. מה אתה אומר, מחר הם משחררים את שיר ביבס או לא? לא יודע.
We have English speakers in the room. Do we want to talk English or Hebrew?
איתן, לפעמים...
I know. Go ahead.
באמת.
All right. I didn't
Parler
mean
en hébreu, ça nous engage absolument.
Linda's upset with me.
מה פתאום?
Mommy's mad.
מה פתאום? רק אני אומרת לך, לפעמים יהודים רוצים לדבר, הם יהודים, במיוחד הם...
I'll tell you what I think about this Yehudi business.
לא רוצה לשמוע. אם אתה מדבר באנגלית וזה, אני לא רוצה לשמוע. אני לא רוצה לשתף
Okay.
הזאת עם כולם.
My esteemed colleague would prefer that I speak the holy language. So I will do that and then I will translate.
טוב,
לפעמים
שבת
אפשר...
שלום.
תתני לי לסיים משפט בבקשה.
אבל אתה לא...
אנא ממך.
אני אסיים.
אני בשבוע הבא אולי אני אפתח חדר גם, ואנחנו נעשה חדר של שבת. אני אולי אקרא קידוש, אני אדבר על פרשת שבוע, אני אשים איזה שיר של שבת. זה יהיה כאילו נחמד לשבת.
יפה, נו.
That's all I wanted to say.
אוקיי.
What?
אני מאוד נחמד, אני דווקא אשכרה.
It's possible to maintain our Jewish identity and not talk about all this, stuff on Shabbat. But whatever, I'm not going to tell people what to do, but...
כן, אבל אני חושב בדיוק בימים האלה...
לא, אני בטוח. I didn't mean to take away from that. No. I didn't mean that at all.
תן לי רגע רק לסיים. החבר שבא עם המשפטים ההזויים שלך שלו...
Okay, you're right. Sometimes I bend over backwards.
זה קצת מוזר, כאילו, איפה אתה מוצא את עצמך בשיחה הזאת, אתה מבין? זה לא...
אתה זה קובע את האופי של החדר ואני זורם, אין קטע. אין בעיה, אני זורם עם כולם, אז... לא יודע למה הוא נכנס לחדר של דוברי עברית, אבל אולי מישהו פה ספציפי, אבל...
הוא בא אליך, בוא נקרא לילד בשמו.
Yeah, I would think that's right. Okay. So, in my other room, I was going to do the crossword puzzle in Hebrew and English, but we figured out that wasn't going to be... The Hebrew speakers know both languages better.
Do you want to give it a shot?
Wow, I like that PTR that Susanna has. I used to sell shoes. Okay, where were we? Okay. Do we want to give it a shot? Okay, let's give it a shot here. Okay, okay, I got a three-lettered word for dear. Like, something is dear to me.
יקר.
What is the Hebrew word?
יקר.
Okay, very good.
נכון, יפה.
You got it. Okay.
חשבתי באנגלית ואמרתי לה, צריך לעזאזל דיר זה 3 אותיות, זה 4 אותיות.
Okay. How about three-letter word for here? Like in I live here.
How
כאן.
many words?
כאן.
God. Okay. Linda's got two already. She's ahead.
וואו, תקשיבי, היום חדה.
Okay. How about? Oh, I'm gonna start with the easy ones first. Okay. Fate. Like you know, this is your fate.
גורל.
Okay. Very good.
Wow, yeah.
Regions. We have the plural.
אז-
6 letters.
אזורים?
Very good.
What?
Okay, how about this one? Mountaineer.
Wow.
Mountaineer has 4 and 4.
Something with har, but I wouldn't know.
Okay, well you're on the right track. You said har, but we're gonna say what's the plural of that?
הרים.
הרים,
Okay,
אבל...
so
Yeah.
what is a mountaineer? Somebody who, what does he do?
Climbs.
There you go. So how do we say that?
הרים.
Metapes harim.
Yay, shimmy.
Right, so let's move on. To tame, as in to tame an animal or a husband. I mean, an animal.
Is
Check
it from
him out. Okay.
Is it from the word ragua?
Is it from what word?
Ragua.
No.
Okay.
Can you ask the question again?
Okay, but okay. The word to tame. To tame.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like entertain. It's
No.
similar or
לא.
no?
אם יש איזה חיה,
I'll give you a hint. Think of a letter in the alphabet.
והוא שובר.
Shin.
No.
לאלף אולי?
Aleph, right. Aleph. Okay, to tame.
Nice one.
Which someone in the BHI room was interesting. Sometimes they have interesting opinions. He took the word L, which is 2 letters, Aleph, which is the one we mentioned now, Aleph, and Lamed is to learn, right? Lamed, or to teach. So it's interesting that those are 2 aspects of El, which is God, right? He teaches and he tames.
Wow.
Well, that's an interesting one. Okay, moving on. Tool. 3 letters, tool. Kli. Okay.
Wow, that's so obvious and I missed it.
You know, Kli, I wonder if the root word for Kli is from like kol. From like all or like,
Possibly.
or the word kilia, which is kidney, could be related from the word Kli. But going with this kol kind of root word, and this is the beautiful thing, I think Edward's not in the room, but he pointed it out about Arabic and all Semitic languages, and when you have this triconsonantal root, you get to see this conceptually. You get to see what everything else around it, it just grabs you. Okay, so Kli, right. Kli was the way to say tool. And do you know where the word kalkala comes from, obviously? What do you have in the word kalkala, which is economy?
Also called.
Right, you have the word everything twice in there. All right, let's go on.
Hey, Eitan, I'm really enjoying this.
What?
Hey, I'm really enjoying this. This is great.
Okay, we're trying. All right, let's see now. We got the word group. We got 5 letters. What?
What's that?
Okay, what other words can we think of with the same root of group? 2 words.
2 words?
Think of 2 different words. We got kibbutz.
So that?
Kibbutz, right? Kibbutz comes from the same root as mutza.
נכון?
And what other word do we have? A very Zionistic or evil concept? Kibbutz what?
מהמילה צד?
Kibbutz galuyot.
Oh, wow.
Ingathering of the exile. And when I was a kid, and my dad was driving in the car, I saw the kibbutz galuyot. I was a kid. I actually thought it was a kibbutz, but it's not. It's a street named after a concept.
קיבוץ גלויות, זה רחוב מאוד
It's a very well-known street. That's the cool thing about street names in Israel. They can have very conceptual names sometimes. You will not find these kinds of, I don't know if you'll find it somewhere else. Maybe anyone who's lived anywhere else in the world can tell me interesting conceptual street names. Like, I like this one called,
Elone Imamri.
Race. Yeah.
It's in Efrat, I think. It's רחוב Imamri in Efrat.
No, Hasid,
Yeah.
Righteous among the Where else are you going to have a street name? Righteous among the
Mostly income based. It's not. It really is. It really is an income discrepancy that causes that. It causes us to group in those ways.
It's also a lot of the classism is more at like a political level than an individual level. Like I think very rarely are people like actually I don't know like how often are people like bullied for like their class. I mean I will say it is interesting of like one of the first questions in like U.S. culture when you meet someone you might ask them what they do for work, and that is basically like one step away from asking someone how much money they make. And that's like one of the first questions that we ask people. And I know that in other countries that would be considered a kind of a rude question.
Well,
to
now look who is classist. Look who is classist. Indian Americans are very classist, right? What do you do for a living? It's very fucking important, right? Asians, Chinese. My mother-in-law is Chinese, very classist. Black people are classist in the opposite way, but they are too in their own way. They're classist, like culturally speaking. Like they basically have their own language amongst one another that's different than their language with other people. White people don't have that. We have the same language with everybody. So, I mean, if you think about that, that's a level of classism in its own right, even if it's not, even if it's based in poverty and lack of education originally, you know what I mean? Proper grammar, per se.
Put me in the queue, Dr. Keegan. I would like to present a universal hypothesis.
I actually want to send you something because I recently changed my. I listened to like a linguistics lecture that talked a lot about like AAVE, and it actually really changed my opinion on it. And I'd like to share it with you if you're interested.
Oh yeah, anything linguistics, I'm really interested. There's a guy in here named Heron, and he is a language professor. Retired. Well, he's old, but he's a language professor. And one of the things he talks about is how important words are when we don't even know it. So subconsciously, basically, our brain, our bodies and our mouths throw out words without our brains actually making it happen sometimes. The words come out without the actual thought process involved. So it's almost like an automatic, we call it automatic like monkey language machine. Well, one of the things he says is the word "the" is exceptionally dangerous because you start talking about the answer, the solution, and it leads us to black and whites and absolutisms that are not helpful in trying to get along with one another. So the most problematic word he says is "the."
I just put the link in the chat. You should save it to like your notes or something, and then you can, if you remember, watch it at your.
I will. Yes.
Okay, moderator, put me in the queue. I'd like to present a universal hypothesis. Okay, so playing off of what Mike and Kevin just said about, words, I'm going to present this universal hypothesis from the perspective of Keegan, an American Christian, about Jesus. Jesus is the baseline. Oh! I got kicked. Couldn't take the vibration.
Everybody has very high confidence.
About the existential question.
Well, sure. I mean, I have a very high credence that, for instance, atheism is true, right?
What will happen after death?
But according to me, nothing.
You will get reincarnated. You will get reincarnated as a peanut.
Hi, Piper. Please put me in the queue. I would like to present a universal hypothesis about everything.
Okay. Okay, you
Wow.
but anyway,
Wow, it's my friend.
that guy's your friend. Okay.
Yeah, we are both gay.
We are both gay.
Phoenix, are you actually gay, or did people say that about you?
No, I'm actually gay. Virgin.
Okay. Now your headphones make so much more sense.
Have you ever
Yeah,
heard of
I'm
such
trying
a
to
thing?
think.
Have you, virgin gays are like technically talking about nothing. That's the funniest thing about Phoenix here, is virgin gay. This virgin gay guy will waste your time. We're 2 for 2.
יאנוש בן גל, נדמה לי, לא, בעצם לא, אולי כן. יאנוש בן גל, היה אחד מהם. האלוף יאנוש בן גל.
Okay. Here's another street name that you may remember. This one got me. I used to live on this street, Yapo. It's called Yehuda Yamit. Any idea why did they name the street Yehuda Yamit? And what got me was Yamit, okay, it's
Right.
So what does it mean if it's Yamit in the feminine form? It's not after Yehuda, a person, right? It can't.
Of
That would
the
be
sea. So 1 second. Is it possible of the sea?
Yes, it has something to do with the sea,
Okay.
and it's like right off the. Well,
Talking about maybe the city, I mean?
no. What it was when the Romans first came to the area. They conquered. They first came through this area called, Bayafo. Okay, and they made a coin to honor that, and that coin is called Judaeus Marinus. The name of the coin to honor coming into this area of Judea, and they call it in Hebrew. The street is named after this coin.
Wow.
So we
That's
have.
interesting. That's interesting.
So we have streets already. We mentioned streets named after what? We have streets named after omniscient, saved Jewish kids. We have a street named after, we said, righteous among the Gentiles. We have a street named after the biblical / Zionist concept of kibbutz galuyot, ingathering of the exiles. And I'm just thinking of some others. Well, here's one.
Listen, why the hell do you know those things?
Why do I know those things? That's pretty.
Because Eitan, if he were allowed to be, hey Alex, I'll take potpourri for 1,000.
Yes, that's my inspiration. I want to be the Jeopardy guy.
There you go. Shimmy, are you familiar with Jeopardy from the United States?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking about.
Right. So potpourri is kind of like miscellaneous. So that would be 8.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Street names are really interesting because, there's no way that you haven't spent your life and without questioning street names because, either they're connected to concepts, history, or people.
Yeah.
Not where I grew up, but okay.
That's why precisely I blame the Baklava and the blocks.
That's okay. Oh my god.
Well, if we're going to go on food, okay, there actually is, you guys are going to kill me for this, there's actually somewhere in suburban Chicago, intersection of Hamburger Avenue and Ronald McDonald something street. And you know where that is? That is in Oak Brook, Illinois, because they have the campus of Hamburger University there, and that's where they train managers of McDonald's. He knows what I'm talking about. Subscribe, right?
No, I never heard of that, but I always get Oak Park and Oak Brook confused.
Oh, they're two radically different places, but yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
They're kind of close, right?
Yeah. Oak Park kind of reminds you of Evanston in a way, because of the way of the nature of the community. They're like, integrated communities. Yes. But Oak Park has the Frank Lloyd Wright homes.
Yeah.
Just
Wasn't he a vehement anti-Semite?
You know, was he?
I bet you he was the type of anti-Semite you hear on this app today, but maybe even more toxic because he was a Native American English person. You know, I mean, I heard he's like a radical anti-Semite.
You know, I have to look that up.
And so, anyways, all the cancellation stuff, you know, they don't ever cancel anybody who's an anti-Semite.
No. But that Oak Park, you know, came from Oak Park.
Yeah, the famous guy, the author, right? What's his name?
Yeah. Ernest Hemingway.
Yeah, the Hemingway house is there. And then next to the Hemingway house is the Hemingway Cafe, which is kind of a beautiful little older restaurant. You know, it's just old, but it's beautiful.
Right. So I recommend anyone going to Chicago, if you're going to do the off the beaten track thing, go to that museum. It's gorgeous.
You know, what is it, River Forest?
So then I recommend a museum.
What's going on here?
Recommend a museum. Excuse me?
What?
The Hemingway Cafe in Paris. Okay.
All right. The next conceptual street name, and this is named after, I'm going to tell you the name, see if anyone can say what it is. By the Tachana Merkazit Central Bus Station. When you walk out,
Tachana Merkazit, which city?
the Central Bus Station.
Because I felt like she called the news too soon before we knew what happened, and then they said that I was being insensitive, but they said that I looked like a drug user, and I thought that them saying that to me was a very mean thing for her to say to me.
So they say what they say because you're married to a Christian, and they're jealous.
I love your PTR, El Normo. It's beautiful. What a great photo.
That's Wanda Sykes, I believe, and they look like twins from the same parent.
It looks like the cover of a movie. You should put a movie title underneath it.
They look like they could be twins. I wonder if me and El Normo are related.
Of course we are. It's not Wanda Sykes. It's Waris Deary, who is a quite famous model.
Oh, I think I'm racist. Oh my gosh.
And no, I don't think you are. And also an activist.
She kind of looks like her. What's this person's name?
Waris Deary. She's a chevalier of the Legion of Honor in France, and she's an what do you call that mutilation? Female FGM. She's an anti-FGM activist.
What is that, like a Muslim practice of labia reduction or something?
I don't want to spell it out, but
It's circumcision. Female circumcision.
That's what it is.
Or clitoral removal, I guess.
You didn't have to spell it out.
Well, I just want to be clear. I mean,
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's a mutilation. That's pretty brutal. It's terrible to do to somebody. I mean, should be, where's the United Nations on that one?
Yeah, they have committees against it.
Is it also like primarily an African thing to do and not necessarily like a Muslim Arab thing?
Yes, absolutely.
I heard they do it in Pakistan as well.
So what Amos is technically trying to do here then is let's coexist not just with each other, but let's coexist with the clitoris. Alish is God. The clitoris is God. I mean, it's the inversion of the phallus.
It's not inverted.
No, it's the opposite gender of the phallus.
Is it a Merkaba?
How did you do yesterday, Amos? Did you have to stop your work?
If I have to stop my work, why?
But for driving a bus.
There was bus attacks. There was 3 coordinated bus attacks that I think that they were able to get before any damage occurred, right?
Yes.
Or any injuries.
There were 2 bombs in buses. That's true.
Almost. When I went to Israel, this soldier told us that he did this. There was a threat that some Arab guy in a village's car had a bomb underneath it. So they went to the guy's front door and they said, "Hey, we got notification that you may have, an explosive device underneath your vehicle. We'd like to examine your vehicle." He says the Arab father said, "Fuck off." He said, "Muhammad, get in that fucking car and drive it around the neighborhood and come back." And he says, "See, no fucking bomb on the car." That was the father's response. I believe that's a true story.
I don't know. I don't like to put story which is not famous in the group. I wouldn't take it as serious as it is. Nobody knows. Right now, you know that we get back the false body.
Fourth or false?
False, and false. They give Muslim woman instead of Shiraz, instead of the woman with the mother of the two kids. They give the two kids, but they give a false mother, a Muslim body, not the real mother. So Israel make a lot of noise. Very straight away tonight, right now, they release another body.
So what do they do? Like send the remains to 23andMe or Ancestry.com? I mean, how do they know?
They make we have a checking body in Abu Kabir, we call it. We check it. Everybody through the teeth, through the bars, there is a lot of
Right.
checking that it's the real body.
Yeah. The dental records always tell the tale. Interesting how dental records often come up in, legal issues with regards to murder and things like that.
They're unique.
El Normo, I bought a book on Yiddish songs, and it's just so much fun, like reading these Yiddish songs. They're all beautiful and wonderful. It's called, it's like a Yiddish song hymnal book or whatever.
It's an inherently fun language. It's sort of inherently comical and sort of joyous, um, ironic. It's a fun language.
Yeah, I like the German feeling in it too. There's so many words where it's like just the sounds that it makes. You can tell that it's got this like German inspiration or corollary to it. It is
Sure.
basically fun. Yeah, it is a fun language. I assume German it could be fun, but I feel like Yiddish would be more fun than German.
Almost, I can't remember. Were you part Iraqi? I can't remember now. Where were your parents from?
My mother is Yemenite and my father is Austrian.
So interesting, so beautiful. So I can imagine you must be handsome. So the Yemenites, do they have an Arab Hebrew combo that wherever the Jews go they have like a combo language that they speak? Like the Jews of Spain speak Ladino, like Arab Jewish or Arab Hebrew. Did you have one?
It depends which country you come from. Every country has accent. Of course,
I mean Yemen. Yemen.
Yeah, of course Yemen have accent. Make a lot of joke. I think the country that make the most joke is Yemen.
Oh really?
Yes, the most joke on the Yemen accent. Yes. But every country has the jokes.
I feel like their food is the best.
That is incorrect.
Well, I mean for us. I'm talking for us. I like the mimicry.
Food is also one of the best food. That's true. The Yemenite bread, the Yemenite jasmine,
The jasmine.
Yeah.
There's a kosher Yemenite place here in the Jewish area, and I go there. I used to go just for the jasmine.
Yes, everybody does. And I'm sure that you find the luch and you find the spug and you find
Yeah, the food, absolutely. Food. Do they make the jasmine with butter or margarine?
I have a place close to me, a village of Holy Yemen, which make everything. They make jasmine from any taste you want, from butter, from a lot of even from honey. They make it with taste of honey. Yes, there is jasmine in any taste you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Malawach is not necessarily Yemenite. Malawach is everywhere now.
I think the base starts from Yemen also. The rest, every country have a kind of making the food, but the most known, the most tastely, the most people like to talk about bread is coming from Yemen because they have the most different kind of baking bread. Jachlon is a kind of bread. How you do make the. But let's talk about coexistence now. Step A is finished next week. On Saturday we get 6 live more.
Shalom, Amos.
Shalom Yirmiyahu. You think we can make existence between Edward and Shuki?
No, not at all.
You know,
It's
Amos.
probably the same likelihood as the existence between the Israelis and the Gazans.
Amos, you know, there's a girl I wanted to take her out on a date, and she said, well, she messaged me back. She said, if we don't get along, you know, something. The point is, I told her, well, if that's the way you feel, then it's a you problem. So if you can answer the riddle of you, or essentially it's kind of like saying the riddle of the Sphinx or the riddle of Israel, you'll realize it's not a you problem, it's a you problem, meaning it goes for everybody. But if you're a Muslim and you're Palestinian and you refuse to essentially blend or realize that there's a greater life riddle, then this debate will go nowhere. You're essentially talking in a forest to a stone to, you know, no one listening. I mean, this deals with enlightenment. So if they can't essentially get off track with their J-word propaganda and depoliticize and stop being, you know, real politique, I mean, you're wasting your time too, because you're not talking about bigger, more important, more complicated issues, which is really reality and God and the universe and coexistence. I mean, I guess you are in coexistence because you're trying to create a balance, but it's just my analysis that you're wasting a lot of time talking to stones in a forest, and there's nobody there to listen to your tree falling because you're talking to automatons. They refuse to depoliticize and essentially spiritualize. That's my opinion.
I'm having trouble following what you're saying.
He's just trolling it, but yeah.
He's not trolling. This is his thing. You know, he's got this thing. It's sometimes I understand it, sometimes not.
The Jews never at fault for anything.
Do you want to? Why do you ask? Do you want to explain it, Edmund?
Yeah, I can. I mean, you can insult me all you want, but that's, to me, that's just your projection. I mean, you're criticizing yourself when you insult somebody else. So I'm talking about. Okay, great for you. Good for you. I'm so happy for you. And the point is, I'm talking about equilibrium, balance, silence, stillness. This is the truth. And when you open your mouth and you ask a question, or you answer a question, you are disrupting a vibration of stillness and peace and equilibrium that already exists. Thus, you enter into the realm of politic or politic. And so if you're polite about it, you know, you can get away with it. But if you just insult people, you'll never succeed in what you're doing. So I say reflect, don't deflect.
Well, reflection requires them to look in the mirror, and they have a hard time doing that.
I think both sides do. That's the problem. Is Palestinians and Israelis are very similar in the worst kind of ways. Both stubborn.
No.
Both believe that the world revolves around them, and both they have a right to something that truly belongs to both people.
Listen, in Israel right now it's midnight, 12 o'clock. And I like at 12 o'clock to speak.
See, this is where you're wrong again. It doesn't exist for both people. It exists for people who live in balance, who live in harmony, who live in joy, not for terrorist murderers who break the law and kill people. Those people will suffer justice. That's why you're stupid, because you don't understand law.
Subscribe.
You've got a tunnel vision.
Why do you have to do stupid?
Subscribe. You heard that. And Moro, you heard that I want to speak?
Sorry,
Is it okay
sorry, go ahead.
Is it okay that I speak in my room? In other rooms, they throw me out. They don't let me speak. At least I open a room that I can speak. And I say right now it's 12 o'clock midnight in Israel. And at 12 o'clock midnight, I like to take my 2-3 minutes to speak in my room. That's why I always invite people to come at 12 o'clock to my room. Because at 12 o'clock, some things that change one day to another. And make another day hope that it will be better than the day before. The day before, Hamas sent us a false body, and we all hope Israel in all the pressure that we will get this body already. They give it tonight. Let's make the way to Abu Kabir, a place where they're going to check the body to see if it is the real mother of the children. What I want to say is that I feel the Hamas wanted more than Israel. It's the first time that I suspect the Israelis don't want the peace agreement. They want to spoil and go back to war. And that's, I put
The resistance is here at most. The resistance is here.
Speak quiet. I take the microphone, I speak, and I ask the people, please be quiet when I speak.
You speak now.
Including resistance, please. And when I see, and I'm so much in a pressure, so I want to speak to everybody. My pressure inside that Israel is waiting. Like you see, the Hamas make a mistake, it's straight away. They give back the body. They admit it. They make a mistake, and I hope that Israel will check in Abu Kabir the body, and it will be the real body, not false body. Anyway, I hope that the people of Israel realize and understand that it's not only Hamas who is now want a war, it's also people who want to keep his coalition. He wants Israel to go back to a war that nobody wants it. And I really hope the Hamas will finish, I think next week, it's the last time, the Hamas will finish step A. Only I'm talking about step A because it will stack the coalition. Why? Because they don't conversation with the Hamas about step B, C, and finish the war. Understand Trump promised the Palestinians that the war will be finished. And I feel the first time that Israel is looking for a war, not for a peace. I suspect. Maybe I'm wrong, which I hope that they will see. We will see very
Yeah, but you got to realize it's always going to be a wrestling act. That's the name Israel and Jacob. I mean, the Shekhinah is now, Mashiach now. It's a dance. It's a wrestling event. This is not going to stop. It's an eternal dance. It's a spinning cycle. That's what the universe is doing.
Wrestling, but
It's a funeral procession. That's what the Tao Te Ching book says on wisdom, that all wars are funeral processions. I mean, it's true. It's just the leadership watching their population get picked off. It's brutal, but that is not stopping. It won't stop. A funeral procession, it just seems to be like part of the eternal dance. It's horrific, but it does seem to be the constant. So, if you're not teaching meditation, then what you're doing is just, kind of creating more more hopefully coexistence. But I mean, if you really want to create coexistence, you should essentially try to teach meditation, or try to, help bring balance and peace to the people in these rooms. I mean, I think you do.
If meditation will help the people solving problems, I support that. Right now, nobody thinks not about meditation and not about nothing, only about finish step A.
No, the whole thing is meditation. It's just a larger word for media, which is really memetics. So you could talk to this guy Resistance here. His memetics are terrible. I would say that they probably match his personal life. Sometimes people project the way they're feeling in this horrifically negative, way, like Resistance does.
Because I can hear you talking. You seem to me to be a sexual offender. The way you talk, you seem to me like you prey on children.
That might be a projection of your own existence, sir.
You projected. See, once you mentioned my niece, your credibility went out the window.
Well, I'm just saying you use negative speech. That's all I'm merely saying.
You use negative speech, and you side with genocide. So what does that
No,
mean?
I don't side with genocide. I side with the law. I side with the law. Do you know how to spell the law? And what does the law mean to you in one sentence, Resistance? What's the law?
The law of where? America?
I'll ask you one more time. I'll ask you one more time. Define the word law. Go ahead. Just tell us the word law. No, just give us one sentence definition for the word law. I'm complete. I'm finished asking my question. Just define the word law.
Different laws have different meaning. Because I only acknowledge God's laws. Atmos, do you see Israel's trying to further the genocide by planting those bombs on the bus?
Hey, Amos, I got some good advice for you, and I'll just interrupt this turd. If I were you, I would just close Clubhouse. I'm just going to talk over you. I would just close Clubhouse and maybe read some poetry instead of letting this toxic rat from the streets of hell even communicate with you. Resistance is essentially a fallen man, a failure of a human being who projects his despicable, horrific words upon you and other people. He should be removed from the app. He should be thoroughly reported. And in fact, Department of Homeland Security and the FBI should head to his Upper East Side apartment and pick his rat ass up and put this rat piece of shit in fucking jail where this creature belongs. I am complete, Amos, and I hope for coexistence for those who obey the law, not rat pieces of shit like Resistance. You are human excrement. You are human filth. You are a detestable black brother from hell. Go back to hell, demon, where you came from, and disappear into the nothing that you emit, you vile, disgusting, rat piece of shit, Resistance. You are filth. You are disgusting. You are stupid. You are an idiot. And you smell like shit. I wonder how it sounds for Amos. I wonder if he's laughing.
Only in animal kingdom, people can do whatever they want. Animals can do whatever they want because there is no rule, there is no guiding principles, there is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Driver?
Nahad.
Right. Let's see. I'm trying to. Okay, we're gonna do the easy one. T.
Tea or teeth?
T.
Hey.
T. Right. I'm trying to complete one here, but let's see. Okay, to yawn. 4 letters.
Say it again, please.
To yawn. 4 letters. Beginning with the lamed.
No.
You know it, Shimi or Roman or anybody?
Eitan, I got a question for you. When people say, Eretz Yisrael,
Right.
is that translation I love Israel or I love the sun god? Is that like could you translate it that way?
Eretz, actually, Hasidic explanation once said the word Eretz is like Eretz, I will run. And Rat, running, is related to the word Ratzon, wanting, because when you want something, you run to it kind of deal. You know where you're going with this? Eretz Israel. Subscribe.
Yeah, I mean run would be the word, I guess. I mean, I don't know, how you break it down. I actually just bought a book on Hebrew grammar and it's like it's like hieroglyphics. I have no understanding of Hebrew whatsoever, so but it does have like a transliterative.
Right.
But it's very complicated. It's like unbelievable how much attention you would have to pay to try to even utilize the communication not in like an environment that is already operating in it. It's difficult to want to learn a language when you can't actually observe it in the environment.
Yes, interesting. And paying attention to all the nuances, you're right, gets lost in everyday speech. Here's the shortcut in grammar that I like. Shimmy probably knows this one for sure, Roland. To say the future, okay? The future of like, how do we say the future? I will arrive. Right. Okay. And how do we say he will arrive? Okay. And how do they say she will arrive? And how do we say we will arrive? Okay, and we call that otiyot eitan.
Wow, very cool, Eitan.
So yeah, if you want to remember, Linda, if you want to remember the future, like the future tenses, just remember the otiyot eitan. But
I sort right.
What?
Yeah, I sort of know future tenses, sort of. My thing is usually in plurals of Hanakeba. That sometimes I don't have that.
Wait a minute now, the Hanakeba. You know what's wonderful for this, for the exceptions of the Hanakeba?
No.
I'm gonna. Oh, this is great. You guys remember the Isha Yarok?
Yes.
And we've done this one, right?
We did.
What did the Isha Yarok have? He lived in Bait. Bait Yarok, and he slept in Mita Yeruka. And Naalai Yeru. Oh no, Linda. Naalai
Yerukot.
Right.
Right, but I still don't have it now. Absolutely not.
By the way, are you familiar with everyone familiar here with Elon Gilad? Yeah. Elon Gilad does like Hebrew bits. He's on Instagram. ELONGILAD, and I really recommend if you want to know more about Hebrew language. He's got these 3-minute clips that he always ends up with. Now,
Okay.
I really recommend that. And if you want to get something interesting in your mail about the Hebrew language, get Rubik Rosenthal's weekly letter. Fascinating. And if you're close to a radio, I recommend listening to we call the Pina of Avshalom Kor. Great guy. I met him personally.
Oh yeah? How is he relaxed?
He's tall. The guy's tall. He's ridiculously tall. But he's a very funny guy. He tells jokes as he's talking to you. He's very humble. I admire this guy because he's just the number one famous linguist in Israel. And he used to do the Linda, did you ever see the Chidon Tanakh?
No, but I know about it.
Yeah, I recommend it. You you're interested, YouTube it.
Do you think he can honestly be a Christian with the stuff that he propagates now?
I'll be honest. I think that Christians, like in God's sovereignty, I think that there are some levels that we can go that can get quite dark, and oftentimes you'll find that it's not as public. But I think that believers who do go to that extent got a harsh whoop in the head, as we know the scripture is declared. So do I believe that LeBron is a brother? I would lean on the side of no. Is it possible? I would say so. Again, at one period of time, he used to hold to biblical doctrine. Like he was holding to the Trinity, biblical gospel. I don't even know what he would even affirm you need to do to be saved at this point. But at one period of time, he used to hold to the gospel that you need to believe and trust in Christ, and Jesus, God, the Trinity. But he did. I do remember him had like a fallout because his antics, man. It started with him disagreeing with eternal security, but then it was like those antics that caused it to go to a different level. Yeah, it was like, yeah, man. That's when that whole vocab thing happened. I'm like, man, I can't even go because I can't. That type of behavior just can't. It's just unacceptable.
Hi, moderators. Put me in the queue. I want to ask a question.
That was hilarious. I think Diane came on to was still talking.
It's all good, bro.
I don't even know the story. I know who vocab alone is, but I don't know what you're referring to that happened with him. And it sounds like it's something bad though.
You don't know the guy?
Yeah, like I said, it was just he was coming out to Chicago to meet with the ISBK, that they were starting to become a big thing. I lived out in Illinois, like I'm about 30 minutes outside of Chicago. So. But
is because yes, the first steps are things like what Chooks has mentioned, right? That those are the first steps. Okay, it goes deeper stuff like that.
Hi, moderators. I'm so confused. When did a woman ever give up her life?
For example,
for the greater good, that is.
I'm just gonna start.
Not just the foreigner, it's things that other people assume too. That's what I'm saying.
Is this the victimization room of victims complaining about their victim status?
To understand the black community with Mama Jackson.
This black man today just told me I was on welfare. He's not white or anything, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You can't ask me what triggers different people.
So would it be, because I'm thinking the best way to trigger them is to come as with more social programs and say that because black people are on welfare, we need to do this to support them. Things like that.
I don't know. I can't help you.
No, I'm here to support you because you need support, and that's the energy, basically.
I don't know.
So there in religion, all religious acts.
program will allow seniors to receive up to...
Tao Te Ching can be translated as the book of the imminence of the way, or the book of the way and of how it manifests itself in the world, or simply the book of the way. Since it is already well known by its Chinese title, I have let that stand. About Lao Tzu, its author, there's practically nothing to be said. He may have been an older contemporary of Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, and may have held the